Hello, you are joining us. Hello, you're joining us live here from the S500E. We are driving through Paris. Hi, if you're watching us, we are playing out live at the Paris Motor Show on the big screens. And of course, if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube as well. Good to have you here. It feels a bit weird driving, you know, with the live stream going on. I feel a little bit nervous. Not as nervous as I'm sure the whole camera team. It's okay, boys. I normally only drive on the other side of the road. Actually, that's a good point. We've got the whole crew in here. Say hello. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
There you go. They are here. Because it is such a spacious car. We are in one of the biggest sort of limousines or luxury sedans on that Mercedes have. And that's a really good point because, of course, we're talking about e-mobility. We're talking about electric drive, driving efficiently. And this just proves that you don't have to get rid of any of those creature comforts that you think that you may need to when driving in that sort of mode. In fact, the boys here, look, I'm going to show you this very quickly before I start talking about the electric motor. The boys here, they've got the massage on. They've got the massage, heated seats. Are you having a good time, boys? Yes.
Yeah.
Okie dokes. So we are in, we're in Paris. Let's go on a little road trip and find something quintessentially Parisian. Let's see what we can find. Right, so we said if you had any questions to let us know, and I will try and answer them whilst driving around. I think one of the main questions that a lot of people were saying is, with a car of this size, with a car with all this onboard tech and luxury and comforts that come with it, can you actually drive totally electrically? Which the answer is yes. In this particular one, you can drive up to 30 kilometres, but actually it's quite limitless, really, because it's a plug-in hybrid. You can switch between the two because, of course, you've got the combustion engine on board here as well, a 3-litre. 6-cylinder turbocharged combustion engine, to be exact, and that kind of flips between the two, and the battery, the external battery that you can externally charge, or it can be charged via the engine as well. So let's have a little look at the different driving sort of programs that you can put it in, and I'll try and explain a little bit more. Here we go. You can see here the energy flow. I'm going to try and explain a little bit more while we're driving along just how that works. So to begin with, you've got your 4 different modes, and if I can just get Thomas to have a little look here, you can see the different driving modes. Oh, I'll bring it back up again. So you've got hybrid there, you have E-mode, you have e-save, and you've got charge. Charge is actually not highlighted. Oh, it's gone again. Charge isn't highlighted because we're on 100% charge. So if I was to put it into hybrid, that is when you are using your engine, and the car will decide how to best use the energy. So you have optimum driving efficiency. So it might switch between the engine and then the battery. And what I will do is, as soon as this light turns to green, we'll be able to see the energy flow here. When the car first starts, it will be in battery mode. It's lovely and silent, and actually it's very comfortable to drive. Here we go. As I go, you can see it's got a seamless transition between the two. You couldn't tell how you were driving, apart from the fact that it's got this lovely just ambience about it. It's nice and silent. Here we go. So we can have a little look at the energy flow. We're stopped at traffic lights again. You can see can you see the gorgeous fruit and veg stand? A little bit of scenery for you. We're on green. We can go. So here we go. We can see the energy flow here. You can see that at the minute, the energy flow is coming from the battery. There we go. The arrow is going from the battery into the engine and then onto the rear wheels. Now, if I just put my foot on the brake, you can see that it's recharging from the wheels. Put my foot on the brake. I don't want to hold up too much traffic. Back in and back into the engine, and then charging up that battery as we're going along. So let's change onto E mode. So eDrive, that is using pure electric. So we are using purely power from the battery, and actually over here on the dashboard you can just see the amount of battery power that I'm using, and then when I take my foot off the accelerator you can see that the battery is then falls back into charging mode, which is great because when you're driving along you can ensure that you're using your car efficiently, you're using the battery efficiently there. Okay, let's move it on. eSave, this is when you want to save your battery. So if you've got a certain amount of charge in your battery and you want to save that, for example, you're doing a lot of motorway driving, a lot of highway driving, and then you know that you're going to be driving within a town or a city, you can go into that mode. That is going to save your battery ready for when you're driving around the smaller towns and cities. So let's do a little turn around here. I'm going to actually put it into E mode so we can be driving purely on that battery, totally emission free, which is fantastic in a car like this. Okay, so I think when we pop over this bridge here, whoops, you might see something that is that will prove that we're in Paris. Look at that. Lovely, gorgeous. The Eiffel Tower there. In fact, I think we'll head towards that way so I can get a selfie in front of it, obviously. So other questions that were coming in. We were talking about range, actually. At the motor show, they've got the power charging stations there for you to have a look at. And Mercedes are working towards shorter charging times and longer distances that you'll be able to reach on that battery. That is what the aim is for, and that is what they're working toward. And in fact, in the show, and if you're watching online from Facebook or on YouTube, then make sure you have a little scroll through and go and find some of the earlier films that we did with our live EQ talks, because we have a look at the concept car. It's spectacular. It's so gorgeous. It's really pulling in the crowds there. And actually, Mercedes are hoping that in the future they're going to be looking at ranges purely on electric power of up to 500 kilometers, which is amazing. It's astonishing. And the concept car they have there, which is an SUV style, which is rather interesting, especially for an all-electric car. That's amazing in itself. They are hoping that that is going to be driven on the roads or something very, very similar towards the end or before the end of this decade, which is astonishing. There is the future of cars, people. Love it. In fact, the whole motor show has really been aimed towards electric driving, eco-driving, efficiency, and it's been an amazing place for Mercedes to launch their brand new product range, entire product range, which is the EQ range. Okay, so here we go. We're going to drive towards the Eiffel Tower. Stick with me. Have a little look. Take in some of the Parisian views. In fact, you can see here on the screen as well that, like I said before, you've got your different assistance packages. Lane assist, for example, it's giving me a little nudge on the steering wheel when I nip over the lane. All things that we've become so accustomed to within the S-Class of Mercedes-Benz. You don't have to give up or sacrifice any of that when you want to drive on an electric motor. There it is. She's looking gorgeous. I'm so glad it's a nice day. A couple of the other questions that came in, actually, if you scroll back, we had a look. There was a world premiere at the motor show. That was for the E All-Terrain. That's kind of like a merge between the E-Class and an SUV. So the driving capabilities of that car are astonishing. They really are. That's worth a look at if you nip back through some of the videos. I'm just in everybody's way. Yeah, that is due for release around March time, so I know somebody asked about that if you want to get your order in. Okay, so we are heading up towards the Eiffel Tower. I think it's important to say just what a glorious drive it is in here. It is so comfortable. It's so lovely to drive. So once again, we've been filming over the past 2 days now, live EQ talks from the Paris Motor Show. I hope you've enjoyed joining us. We've really loved having you on board. And make sure if you've missed any of them, you scroll back and just see what was on show here at the Paris Motor Show, because it's fair to say Mercedes have put on a spectacular showpiece. It was really, really great. Thank you so much for having me on board at Mercedes. And I have loved looking around, and it really fills me with absolute joy and excitement to see the future of the car industry right in front of my eyes. And just as we head right up towards the Eiffel Tower, I am going to sign off and say thank you once again for joining me, and hopefully we will meet again soon. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the afternoon here in Paris.